Hey, what's up guys? It's Caper Vapers back again. I'm Sam.
I'm Zach.
And today we're actually talking about tanks on regulated mods. I've noticed these kind of look a little bit like a bigger version of a vape pen because it really is. Now these, like I said, we talked in our last video, these have a single coil in them, or dual coils. These are not sub-ohm. Batteries aren't as big as like an Ely 50 watt. Zach on his right now.
I'm running the Heracles by Sense on my Ely 50 watt.
Yep, and the cool thing about that one, that is a sub-ohm tank. We're going to have videos about non-sub-ohm tanks, but the one we have right now is a sub-ohm tank. Really cool. We got our 2-puff from Cyclone Vapers on there, and it really adds a nice touch to it. But let's get more into about the differences between having an RDA and a tank. Personally, I do like RDAs, I like building them, but let's say you're at work and you want something a little more than just your standard vape pen, and you like something that you can put a lot of juice in and vape on and not worry about dripping. Or you're in your vehicle and you don't want to worry about dripping down the highway. A tank is a great way to go. Now Zach's had this for a while. I've used it for a little bit and I really do love it. I love having a tank on there. You know, I like having an RDA where I can drip and get some good clouds, but you can get good clouds out of these anyways of the way they are. Along with that is battery life. You have a lot longer battery life on it, and you can run your 50 watt E-Leaf on a tank. You can probably run all day and even into the night and not have any problems where it's going to be dead. Especially if you're not running a sub-ohm tank, then you can start looking at days of battery life, especially with a 4400 milliamp battery. I'm going to let Zach go into more about talking about the actual tank itself and the differences between how he feels about an RDA versus a tank.
So what I really like about the tanks is that you get half decent flavor. It's not as good as an RDA, but with this you get decent flavor, you get a decent amount of vape. You can run usually whatever kind of juice you want and it still hits fine. It works just about the same as the non-sub-ohm tank that we have on our vape pen here. I'll take it apart and show you how that works a little bit. So basically if you look at it, it's got Pyrex glass. You can see the chimney here and you can see my juice there. If you look down here, there's little channels where the juice goes in to meet the coil. I filled this tank twice and this is how much I have left in my bottle.
And that's a 10 mil, so you can really good length out of your juice too.
So the bottom of the tank is this. This is the base. 510 connection on the bottom. 0.7 ohm coil up here. This is the coil. There's little holes on the side for the juice to go in, hit the cotton, get around the actual coil that's on the inside of this. The electricity flows up through here. There's air flows at the bottom. This has really good adjustments for it. Juice goes in there. It's heated up by the coil. The airflow comes up through the bottom, and then it goes up the chimney of the tank into your mouth. So it's basically like it's constantly dripping for you on a single coil.
Yeah, and new tanks they have out there like the Atlantis V2 and even the Atlantis V1s are good, along with the new Triton, which actually has a top fill on it, so you can just pop your little top off. Well, not like this, but pop the little 2-puff or the little 510 drip tip off there, and all you do is turn a little knob, drip it right in there, and you're good to go. No having to worry about bottom filling it anymore. It's actually quite convenient. But at the same time, you know, people are wondering, hey, I really do like having my RDA, I like getting that big cloud, but right now we're going to do a demonstration. I'm going to have Zach take a pull off of his. He went for 7 seconds. And that's still a good amount of cloud. Which I did that one for about 3 or 4. So, I mean, honestly, with a full pull like he's doing, it's still getting a good amount of cloud. So for those people who are cloud chasers out there, you can still get your benefits of having that cloud if you like it. Also, the nice thing I like about tanks is the fact that you have a lot more opportunities to add more nicotine into them. You cannot drip 12 milligrams of nicotine into an RDA and be fine. For a person that's everyday vapor, it's different. But for a person that wants something more and wants to get the benefit of having that nicotine in there so they can step themselves down, it's a lot better. Especially with the 0.7 coil having sub-ohm coils, just like having an RDA. The cool thing about tanks too is you can get RTAs. What an RTA is basically you can take the coil out and build it yourself inside of it. So instead of having to go in and swap out your coils, it really is, you can go in there and build your own. You can put a single coil in there, and they have dual coil ones where you can actually go in there and build them yourself. and it's really cool. They're a little bit more tedious on a build versus an RDA, but at the same time you do get the benefit of having that coil in there you can build yourself, and then you just put it back in and fill the tank up and operate the same way.
Another thing that's great is one tank will usually last me like 3-4 hours. And running the battery on here, I've been vaping on this since about 10 o'clock today. It's not even halfway gone yet. So you get long life out of it. You get a little more use out of your juice than you would with the dripper. You can put more nicotine in it. You can put more PG in it and not have to worry about it choking you up.
Plus, if you do have a non-sub-ohm tank, like a Nautilus, you can actually, you run it around 25 watts and that will last you probably about 2 days on a single battery. Just regular vaping. It's really cool because it doesn't draw as nearly as much power as like an RDA or, you know, a sub-ohm coil in a sub-ohm tank. So you do have the benefit of both worlds, and you can put these on any regulated mod. So if you've got like a 30 watt, you can put it on there. If you've got the 10 watts, I don't know how long your battery lasts on there, if it'll get enough power, which I don't think it would. You can still try it, but you can't put these on mech mods. You cannot take a tank like this and put it on an unregulated mod, because the problem with that is your coil's not getting a guaranteed amount of energy to it. And everyone knows that energy in itself creates heat. So you get a lot cooler battery life too. Your battery stays a lot cooler with a tank there, because you're not pulling, you know, my build right now is at 0.3 with this Troll by Wotofo, and his is at 0.7, so his is not drawing nearly as much power. And I've been vaping on this all day, and my battery's almost dead. So that is an added benefit of having a tank on there.
Don't let them fool you, it was on the charger. Drawbacks of having a dripper.
But for those people that do want to have something that's more of a step up from a vape pen, I do recommend getting a tank on there. We'll have more tanks on here soon, you know, as reviewing the tanks themselves. But for a general video on this, it's very positive. It's a good tank for, you know, the Hercules is a great tank to get. And any tank in general on a regular model will be great. You can get good clouds out, especially with the Atlantis V2. And it now has top airflow, and it's basically got a chuff on there in itself. So they go for crazy airflow on that one, so you can get that feeling of having an RDA.
One setup I've really enjoyed vaping on, it's not mine, it's a friend of mine's. He got the Kanger Subox, the actual mod and the tank that comes with it. It actually works really nice, even though it does have an 18650 battery that you have to buy separately. But for the fact that the tank on it hits really good, it does come with an RTA kit, so you can rebuild your own coils if you feel the need to do that. And it's just a good little hitter. I mean, if I didn't get this, that's what I was looking at to get instead.
They do offer these tanks at Cycle and Vapers too. We're going to be picking up a Triton and Atlantis V2 here not too long. But stay tuned for our next video. It's going to be on RDAs on a regulated mod. And we're going to go into a little depth on that one too, just to give you guys a heads up on what's coming up next. You guys have a great day, night, wherever you're at. And vape on.
Vape on.